Hello, my name is Vishal Somni and I am from the product team at CleverTap. Today I am going to demo how CleverTap's product A/B tests make it easy to test app experience ideas on controlled segments. These A/B tests help remove the guesswork when building UI and UX flows in apps, helps you validate the hypothesis, and they provide actionable data to improve the overall user experience. Let's take an example where an e-commerce app wants to increase the percentage of users on a product screen adding an item to the cart. To get more users to click on Add to Cart button, an A/B test is created with two different deals. If a user makes a purchase above $25, the first deal provides the free shipping, while the other option provides a 10% discount or 10% off. The deal displays above the Add to Cart button on the product screen. The experiment runs on a very small set of shoppers. Let's see how we can set it up. To run product A/B tests, select Product Experiences in the main navigation menu. To set up product A/B test, first let's define keys, goals, and segments. Let's talk about goals first. Goals define the metrics based on which variants are evaluated, and the winning variant is selected on the same basis as well. Create goals based on an activity performed by user in the app. In this example, the goal is to increase the clicks on the Add to Cart button. Let's create a goal. You can either click on the Create button or plus goal button to start the process. We will call it Added to Cart. That's the goal we have. The event we are tracking is also same. And we'll simply click on Save Goal to save it. Now let's talk about keys. Keys are the app elements that change for each variant. The CleverTap platform supports 5 key formats. If I have to create a key offer block for this experiment, I can click on plus key button, name the key as offer block. The 5 types of keys supported are Boolean, double, integer, string, and JSON. In this example, we will use the key of type string. The default value for this key is 100% original products. Remember, this is the text which is going to display above the Add to Cart button. Now let's talk about segments. Segments allows you to define the set of users on which this experiment will be run. For this experiment, let's take the set of users who have app launched at least once greater than 0. I'll call them all users and I'll save. Now we are ready to create our A/B test. Let's move on to the A/B test module. Once you click on the A/B test module, you'll be able to see the two tabs, A/B tests and priority order. Priority order tab assigns priority to the experiments currently in progress. If a user has a key used in multiple experiments, then this priority will come into play and the end user will get the value accordingly. Let's create an A/B test. Click on plus A/B test button. Let's call it product screen optimization. The description is to optimize the click for Add to Cart button. Click on next. Now let's select the segment which we have defined earlier. The segment which we had defined was all users. And for the sake of this example, I'm going to run this experiment on not all the app users, but only 5% of them. So I'm going to select number 5 here. Next, let's select the goal. Added to cart is the goal we want to track for this experiment. You can add up to 5 goals and track the success of this experiment. The next two options are to provide a different kind of experience. To make sure the customers continue to receive the experiment until the end, select this checkbox. This is important when the user's qualification status changes while the test is still running. The next option allows you to ensure that user is a part of only one experiment at a time. For the sake of this example, we are going to keep both these boxes checked. Click on next. Now let's create variance. We have already defined a key called offer block. So I'll select that key. The default value of offer block is 100% original products, which is pre-populated for control variant. For variant A, let's put the value free shipping on orders more than $25. Let's create another variant and copy it from variant A and change the value to 10% of a purchase of $25 or more. You can create up to 8 variants including the control variant. For the sake of this example, we'll have one control variant and two other variants, variant A and variant B. Click on next. Now you can decide the schedule of the A/B test. You can either decide to start the experiment now or later, and similarly you can decide the end time. For this example, we will start the A/B test now and end it later, that is in next 30 days. Let me define the time towards the end of the day. Now all the elements of A/B test are set up and ready, but the experiment is still not running. You need to hit on publish button. Once you do that, you'll get a quick summary of all the values set across the experiment. In case you want to change them, you can cancel and go back to edit mode for that section and change those values. If all values look good, you can hit on publish and your A/B test will be published successfully. Once you click on a running A/B test, you can go back and you can change the end time of that experiment. If the start time is in future, you can change that as well. If you want to change the key values which are running for that experiment, you can do that as well. Or in case you want to change the distribution of number of users, you cannot change the segment, but you can change the percentage of users in that segment who are exposed to the experiment. Let's make it 7. Now you will see that version 1 has been revised to version 2 here on the top. Once I click on publish, the new version of A/B test will be in the play. At any point of time, you can go back and you will see that version 2 is now active for this particular experiment. You can click on view version history to see what all versions have been there in past. You can click on individual version to see the details in the setup for that particular experiment, or also the stats if that older version has been running for a time. The next thing is stats. You click on this button and you will get the stats for the experiment. As we have just set up this experiment, for the sake of this demo, we will show you the stats of another running experiment. Alright, in these stats, now you will see that the first block gives you the idea about the user distribution or the number of users who have also qualified in that particular segment. The next section shows how different variants have performed with respect to the goals which are defined earlier. In our original example, we defined the goal as added to cart. But in this example, you will see that I have used the goal charged. And that's why the percentages are tracked against the event charged. Depending on the experiment, some of the variants, for example, in this case, variant 7 is outperforming the other variants. And you can easily determine that variant 7 is giving you better results. At the same time, you can identify if a result is statistically significant or not using these symbols, green tick or the yellow exclamation mark, which says statistically insignificant. There is another option on the top which allows you to add an exposure event to your experiment. What this does is, if your experiment is embedded deep inside the app, this allows you to define an extra step so that you make sure that users have been exposed to that experiment and you're tracking only those users for the goal. For example, for our case, we would have added product viewed as the intermediary step. Once we click on save, we will see that an extra step in the funnel of qualified to charged has been introduced. Now the funnel becomes qualified to exposed to charged. And you can easily see that now variant 4 is giving you better results. The last part of this statistics section shows about the trends, how different variants are performing over the time. There are a few more options or action buttons on the top of the stats page. The stop button will immediately stop this experiment. The declare winner button will allow you to identify visually which variant is doing better. At any point of time, you can declare winner another variant, and it's just a visual aid in that sense. The rollout is one option which will allow you to roll out a particular variant to a selected segment, running segment, or to the all users. And that's how you can make use of a product A/B test to get better evaluations. Use product A/B test to make data-driven decisions to determine the optimal user flows and campaigns for your business. That's it for the demo. Thank you.